Okay, this is Algebra 1, Lesson 27, and this one we're going to be talking more about the distributive property, and we're going to learn how to simplify decimal equations. Alright, so on our distributive property, we're going to start with, and remember, distributive property is just where we're rainbowing stuff out. So if we have 4p times x plus 3y, remember we're going to go right here, we're going to say 4p times x, which would be 4xp or px. Let's do them in alphabetical order. Px, okay? Then we're going to go this side, and we're going to say 3 times 4. 4 times 3 is 12, and that would be positive 12. And then we have a p and a y. Py. Okay, so we've been doing it like that. Alright, so example 27.1 gives us xy times y squared minus x squared z. Okay, so when we multiply here, remember, if we have y times y squared, what do? This really means y to the 1. We're going to add those exponents, and we're going to get y to the third, because that means y times y times y. Okay, so that means 1y times 2 more y's. We're going to, how many y's are we going to be multiplying? 3, so y to the third. Alright, so we're going to need our x there, and then we're going to have 3y, so y to the third. Okay, now we're going to multiply here. We're going to have a negative sign, and then we have 1x, and then we're multiplying that by 2 more x's, so we're going to get x to the third, and then we're going to get the z. Okay, so you add your exponents when you're multiplying. Okay, 27.2 says use the distributive property to expand. Okay, so that means we're going to do 4x y to the third, and we're going to multiply that times x to the fourth y minus 5x. Okay, so first we're going to go here, and we're going to say, okay, we don't have any numbers, so we're just going to bring down our 4. X's, we have 1 there and 4 there, so that's going to make 5. Y's, we have 3 there and 1 more there, so that's going to make 4. Okay, then we're going to multiply here. 5 times 4 is 20, and that'd be negative 20 because of this negative right here. X's, we have 1 here and 1 here, so that'll make 2. And y's, we have 3. We don't have any over here, so y to the third. Okay, so you're just adding your exponents for each variable. Okay, this one says use the distributive property to expand. So we got ay minus 4y to the fifth, and all that's in parentheses, and then we have 2x squared y. Exact same thing, we're just, this is on the other side. We could move this over here and it would look more like what you're used to, but we need to know how to do it this way. So first we're going to multiply here. So we're going to say 2, we don't have any other numbers, x's, we don't have any other x's, so we're just going to do the x squared. We've got a total of 2. Now we have a y here and a y here, so we put them together and we get y squared. Okay, now we're going to multiply times here. So 2 times negative 4 will be negative 8. And then x's, we don't have any in here, so we're just going to keep our x squared. And then we have 1y and 5y, so that's going to be y to the sixth. Oh, I forgot the a on this one. Whoopsie. There we go. X squared, y squared minus, yep, that's right. You got to make sure you get all your terms. I forgot that a right there. Alright, 27.4. This one's got a bunch. Alright, so it says use the distributive property to expand, and we got 8m squared x times 5 5m to the third x minus 3x to the fifth plus 2x. Alright, so this one's a little different because it has 3 terms. I'm going to use different colored pens on this one to help you guys differentiate each thing that I'm doing. So this first arrow, we're going to go right here. We're going to say 8 times 5 is 40. Now for our m's, we got 2m's times 3m's would be m to the fifth. And we have 1x and another x, that would be x squared. Okay, that's that one. Now we're going to do this one. So we've got 8 times negative 3. 3 times 8 is 24, and that would be negative 24. Okay, and then our x's, we have, well, let's do our m's first. We don't have any other m's, so we're just going to say m squared. And then our x's, we have 1 and 5, which would be 6. So we're just adding those up. Okay, and then we're going to do this last one. So 2 times 8 is 16. And that's positive because that's a plus and that's a plus. Our m's, we don't have any other ones, so we're going to go m squared. Our x's, we have 1 and 1, so that would be x squared. Let me double check that. 40 m to the fifth x squared minus 24. 6. Yep, that's right. Alright, so you're just going to rainbow it times, that really does look like a rainbow right there. Just going to go times each term. Alright. Add your exponents. Alright. Next part is about simplifying decimal equations. So, if we've got, this is 27.5. Alright, so we've got 0.4 plus 0.02 m equals 4.6. Now we could work this out using all these decimals, but I'm going to show you a way to make this a lot easier. So the highest place we have, this is tenths, this is hundredths, and this is tenths. This one's hundredths, that's the one we're going to use. We're going to multiply by the smallest one. So we're going to multiply this entire equation times 100. Okay, so 100, that means we're going to move our decimal 2 to the right on every single number. So that would end up being 40. This one's going to be 2. And this one is going to be 460. Now it's a whole lot easier to solve. You don't have all those decimals to worry about. So we're going to subtract 40. And we're going to get 2m equals 420. And then we're going to divide by 2. And we're going to get m equals 210. Okay, so it just makes that a whole lot easier. You're just going to figure out what is your highest number of decimal places and then move everybody the same amount. Because as long as you're multiplying by the same thing on both sides of the equal sign, the equation still stays the same. Alright, so 27.6 gives us 0.002k plus 0.02 equals 4.02. Okay, so we're going to multiply the whole thing. We're going to count our decimal places. 1, 2, 3 right there. 1, 2, 1, 2. 3 is our highest number, so we're going to move all of our decimals 3 places. So 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 2k plus 1, 2, 3. We're going to have to add a 0 on there. 20 equals 1, 2, 3. We got to add a 0 on there. So 4, 0, 2, 0. Okay, now we're going to do minus 20. 2k equals 4,000. Divide by 2, divide by 2. And we get k equals 2,000. Super duper easy. Just count your decimal places, move all your decimals the same amount. Alright, so do the practice problems, pause the video, and then push play when you're ready. So we're going to start our practice problems with A. Hopefully you guys actually did them. That's in the glare right there. Move it over. So A is expand using a distributive property, and we got xy squared times y squared p minus p. Okay, super easy. We're just going to multiply here. We're going to say x's, we only have 1. Y's, we have 2 plus 2 is 4. And p's, we only have 1. And then we're going to multiply here, and we're going to go negative. And x's, we only have 1. Y's, we just have those 2. And then p's, we just have 1p. Let me double check that, make sure that's right, but I'm pretty positive that one's right. 27. Yep. All right. B is xy minus x times 2xy. Alright, so first we're going to multiply here, and we're going to have 1 times 2 will be 2, and then total number of x's will be x squared, and our y's will be y squared. Okay, then we're multiplying here. We're going to get negative 2, because this really means negative 1 times 2 will be negative 2. And then our total number of x's will be x squared, and then we just have 1y. 2x squared y squared minus 2x squared y. Alright, let's do C. C is 3x p to the third times p to the fifth minus x squared p to the eighth. Okay, so first we're going to multiply here. So we're going to say 3 times 1 is 3. Our p's, we have 5 and 3, which would be 8. And then our x's, we just have the 1. Okay, then we're going to multiply here. We're going to have 3 times negative 1 be negative 3. And then our x's, we have, let's do our p's first, alphabetical order. 3 plus 8 would be 11. And then our x's, 1 plus 2 would be 3. Double check that. Yep, that is correct. And it doesn't matter what order you write it in. So if you wrote it in 3x p to the 8th, you just swap these two, minus 3x to the third p to the 11th. That is also fine. Either way is fine. I usually just write them in alphabetical order so I don't get mixed up. But you can do it however you want. Okay, D is 2x squared m squared times m squared minus 4m. Okay, so first we're going to multiply here. We get 2. And then our x's, we have x squared. And our m's, we have 2, and 2 is 4, so m to the 4th. Okay, then we're going to go into this one, and we're going to do 2 times 4 will be 8. And that's negative because of this negative right here. All right, our x's, we only have 2. Our m's, we have 2 plus 1 would be 3. I'll double check that. Yep, that's right. Alright, and then the other two were the ones where you have to multiply out your decimals. So we're going to do those. E is 0.08x minus 0.1 equals 16.7. So my biggest number of decimal places is right here. I've got 1, 2. There I've just got 1, and there I've just got 1. So I'm going to move all of my decimals the same 1, 2 spaces. So I'll have 8. That black marker's not working too great. I'll have 8x for that one, minus this one I have to move 1, 2, so I'll have 10. And this one I'm moving 1, 2, so I'll have 1, 6, 7, 0. Okay? Now I'm just going to add 10 to both sides to get rid of that 10. And I have 8x equals, okay, and now just divide by 8. And I'm going to get x equals, let's see, I have to divide that by 8. 2 is 16. 1, 210. X equals 210. Now, if you hadn't gotten rid of the decimals, you still would have come up with the same answer, but it would have been a lot harder. All right, let's try the next one. One more. This is F, and it is 0.7 m plus 0.6 m equals 3.4. Now on this one, one decimal place, one decimal place, one decimal place, so we're going to move them all just one. So it'll be 7m plus, move it 1, 6m equals, move it 1, 34. Alright, so we have to add these two together because they're like terms. So 6 and 6 is 12, 13. M equals 34. And then we're just going to divide by 13. And we're going to get M equals, let's see, will this 34, that won't reduce. Let's see how they put the answer in the back. 2 and 8 over 13. Because that'd be 26. Plus 8 makes 34. Yep. I would accept either one of these answers is fine. Either one of those is right. If you got it like this, or if you got it like that. Alright, so that's it for lesson 27.